Counterattack podcast with me, Daps. Where shall I start today, guys? Keep liking, subscribing, sharing, guys, and I need you to like and subscribe and keep sharing. Keep sharing the content because good stuff is happening, and I just need, the engagement. I need the comments. Like, the comments seem to be flying. All of a sudden, they just stopped now. So we need the comments to come back. We need the engagement. Just talk to me, guys. Let me know, because I know you're enjoying the content. Let me know what I need to improve on. Let me know what you're not liking so much. But yeah, we're going to get into that. Make sure you check out the documentary. Obviously, this is where I do all my housekeeping stuff, all my admin, before we get into it. Make sure you check out the documentary, Son of the Soil, and it's out now on my channel, Counterattack Podcast, this channel right here. Make sure you check it out, comment on it, let me know what you think of it. And that's basically just an eye-opener into what I can do in the documentary space. And stay tuned for another documentary. So, right, we're going to get straight into it. Transfer window is rounding up. So, it's rounding up later on tonight. I'm recording this on Tuesday evening. The time, as it stands, is 10 to 7. So, we're going to start, because like I said, I wasn't even going to record today, man. I was going to leave it for a day or so, but I feel a bit perturbed. I feel a bit annoyed. And it's not for the reasons that people might think. Because if we go back, last week, Arsenal were interested in Moses Caicedo. And, Chelsea were also interested in him. And I actually think Arsenal only bid for him because they saw that Chelsea were bidding for him. And I think that they were interested in him, but once they saw that Chelsea were trying to do it, I think it maybe made them make a bid now, as opposed to the summer when they probably would have made a bid anyway. So anyway, they make a bid. Brighton say, we are not selling under no circumstance. Under any circumstances, cool. Chelsea seem to have pulled out, fair enough. Arsenal come back with an improved bid. Brighton, we are not selling. All right, then, cool. Right. The first problem I had with this is once they've said they're not selling, and, okay, so there's two things here, Because of the position that we find ourselves in, because of the position that Arsenal find themselves in regards to being first in the league at this point in the season, what you're hoping for is that, do you know what? We're just gonna spend the money needed to get us over the line. But at what point do you draw the line? Because they didn't expect to find themselves in first. But now that you're here and you're never going to get a better opportunity at this point of the season, 5 points ahead, now that you're here, spend the money. So you'd much rather overspend on a player that can improve the squad and get you over the line at this point, rather than underspend and not do anything. I understand that. Cool. So, with that being said, at the end of the day, the reason why my view on this is very different is because Arsenal, at the end of the day, are still a business. They're still a football club. Like, I understand that. And if Brighton are saying they are not selling, what you would hope for is that there's other targets. Cool. I'm okay with that. So far, everything is making sense to me. What I had a problem with was suddenly it's like, oh, Edu out. Listen, I get frustrated with the best of fans when it comes to some of our transfer activity. Mudryk, I didn't really know much about Mudryk, but if you're going to go after him, you go after him properly. And there's the small bits that I've seen of him, he looked good. So, okay, cool. We missed out on him. We ended up getting Trossard for less money. So, Arsenal fans, Trossard, because it weren't Mudryk. Bearing in mind, I know a lot of people have not seen Mudryk play. Not to say Mudryk is not good. but they've not seen Mudryk play. But that's the one that is being hyped up right now. So that's the one they wanted. So when we got Trossard, it was just like, it's not Mudryk. And then Trossard came on against United, did what, Trossard's looking, do you know what I mean? All right, so why don't you just see how things play out? I get that we're not always going to have things go our way in the transfer window. That's every single club. Every single club can go and talk about, some of the players that they've missed out on. But I'm sorry, I can't, I'm not, it's like they want to see Arsenal drop 100 mil for Caicedo, where when you take a step back, and again, guys, I would have loved Caicedo in my team, but when you take a step back, this guy has played 26 games in the Premier League. He's played 26 games, and you want to pay 100 mil for him? Or you want, how much is, where do you draw the line? So everyone's like, Edu out, and whatever, but at what point do you say, nah, this is it, okay? And on top of that, Brighton don't want to actually sell. Do you get what I'm saying? So there's that. Cool. And then you get to the part where it's like, you now have to look for alternatives. So it comes out yesterday that Arsenal are linked to Jorginho. And again, Jorginho, I like him as a player. Would I have thought that Arsenal would have gone in for him? No. But anyone that's been listening to this podcast for years knows that I've been a big fan of him. When Spence was here on the podcast, Spence was a big fan from the Napoli days. So I'm like, oh, okay. Jorginho's not a bad player. But there's this narrative going round that he's an awful player. There's a narrative going around that it's a bad signing. And I'm not sure, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I'm not sure where this whole thing of Jorginho being a bad signing is coming from. I understand the players that, you were linked with. I understand the players that, Arsenal were linked with, Caicedo. I understand that you wanted him, and you wanted him for however much, whatever price Brighton was saying, pay it. But if Brighton are saying he's not for sale at any, option, I understand your frustrations, but I just don't understand how someone who ultimately, you know what? Let's talk about that. There's been this thing that Jorginho is coming in to maybe replace Partey or he's cover. He's adding to the squad. Do you get what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, right now, where we are in the season, with a very young team, we do actually need experienced heads. We need heads who have been there, heads who can come in and just steady the ship. We're not bringing Jorginho in to come and start every game and be captain. No, but he's another experienced body who's been there, done that, and can play, and someone who Arteta ultimately believes can fit the style, someone who he ultimately believes can, improve the squad. And something that's come out is that everyone within the squad is happy about it. Do you know what I mean? They're over the moon about it. Like the players, the coaching staff, to get a player like Jorginho who has played in finals, who come third in Ballon d'Or. Like, he's not a bad player. And once again, I understand where people wanted to go with the transfers and whatever, but this is a guy who is more experienced than Moses Caicedo, who, for me, is one for the future. He's one for the future. But if we're talking about now, where we are, and like in this present moment, you need experienced heads to get us over that line. And Jorginho, whether you like it or not, is that. I get he has weaknesses. People are always talking about, he can't run. He's not as athletic as Partey. But you're not asking him to be athletic as Partey. Do you get what I'm saying? We're bringing him in as cover. We're bringing him in as another squad member. And ultimately, the people who, if we didn't buy him, if we didn't get him, and we just were happy about Caicedo, missing out on Caicedo, and we didn't bring anyone else in, there will be complaints. But in January, where it's very hard to get top players in January anyway. You then bring in someone who ultimately is better than Sambi Lokonga, is better than El Neni, whether you want to admit that or not. So you're bringing these players into, and you know he's a player that improves the squad, but people still want to complain. And with me, like we've been there with, I remember Odegaard last year. Odegaard came in on loan, did all right. We then bought him permanently, and people were complaining because they wanted Maddison. And not to say Maddison ain't good, but look how Odegaard turned out. And now all those people that were talking mad about Odegaard are loving him. Do you get what I'm saying? We saw the same thing with Trossard. We saw the same thing with Ramsdale. Like, at what point, okay, so when we missed out on Martinez, I even saw the same thing with Zinchenko. Like, at what point do we just say, do you know what? We're not happy with what we saw. We would have preferred this or we preferred that. But let's just see how it plays out. Sometimes I cannot believe the meltdown. It's been a full-blown meltdown on social media and stuff. In my group chats, people are talking as if we've signed Jemba Jemba. Arsenal have not signed Jemba Jemba. Arsenal have signed a proven Premier League quality player. And I believe in time people will see that. That's me saying, again, I'm not saying that he's first on the list of players. Yes, I would have wanted all these other players, but if you can't get them, then at least get someone in that ultimately improves and will hopefully get us over the line. So what's going to happen now is that, God forbid, Arsenal don't get over the line. People are going to say, this is why you should have paid the money for Caicedo. We're not even sure Caicedo, who is also another young, very inexperienced player, is the player needed to get Arsenal over the line and win the Premier League. We're not even sure about that. But yet we're so sure that Jorginho ain't it. So I just want us to, you know, sometimes just take a step back and just accept that let's just see how things have panned out. Most signings that Arsenal have made, bar Jesus, most signings that Arteta have made recently, there's always been some sort of, you know, discontent with it. You know, listen, I love Arsenal, but sometimes the fan base can be very, you know, on edge and very, impulsive and reactionary. Like, look, Arteta's got us here. I think there's enough credit there in regards to where we are in the league. There's enough credit to at least see how it happened. And if it turns out that it was a bad decision, look, great example. Last year, we got rid of Aubameyang, didn't bring in a striker, and that was a very bad idea. Very bad idea. So, like, and he had to hold that. He almost lost his job because we missed out on Champions League and stuff like that. Like, that was bad, like, and it turned out horribly wrong. This year, they're actually trying to do something. If they didn't bring anyone in, I would understand. They tried. And if teams don't want to sell players, then, you know, anyway. I've said enough on that. But I'm putting myself out there now, and I'm saying Jorginho will be a good buy for us. He's 31, experienced. And another thing, why do people act like 31 is suddenly like you're finished, you're done? No, 31. No, mate. When you look at some of the best midfielders in the world who keep going and over the years that have been, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Standout players. When you look at them in their latter years, they're still balling out because of their experience. Not only do they have the quality, but they got the experience to go along with it. And 31 on an 18-month contract. I think before we used to give these guys 3 years and stuff like that. 31 on an 18-month contract, with the option, obviously, if it goes well, is not bad business. So we'll see how that goes. And, you know, I'm putting myself out there now, and I'm saying Jorginho will be, he would be okay for us. It's not all doom and gloom. Do you know what I mean? Yes, we would have liked other players, as I said, but in January, where are you finding experienced heads? Where are you finding... Mate, the guy's played 26 games, Caicedo. And again, I want him, but he's played 26 games. And we're going mad wanting to pay 70 mil, 100 mil, whatever, for a guy that's played 26 games. Listen, I don't know. The world's gone mad to me, but guys, you lot let me know what you think about the Jorginho transfer. You know, once again, I'm going to say this bit, and this is the bit that I'm probably going to clip up. The outrage, let's just tone it down a bit. Jorginho is not the player that, you know, Arsenal fans might have wanted after being linked with Caicedo and whatnot. But Caicedo has played 26 games. I keep saying it. Jorginho is proven Premier League quality. 26 games at this level is not proof for me. Do you know what I'm saying? Jorginho's played at the highest level. Get me? Coming third in Ballon d'Ors and whatnot. And I get he has his weaknesses, but I think we just need to see how it plays out, because I don't know. The outrage, I've been surprised by it. I've been very, very surprised by it. And, you know, I just want people to, when it actually works, if it works, to just keep that same energy. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Friend of the podcast, Sambi Lokonga, going to Crystal Palace, and I think that's a great move for him. I messaged him earlier on, got a message back. I'm not going to say what that message says because I can see, as I'm looking at Sky Sports News, the move hasn't finalised, so I can't say what the message said. But that's going to be a good move for him. I feel bad for him because anyone that has played football at any level knows how important it is to have games in order to get rhythm. He's played 3-4 times in the last couple months. He's obviously not going to be looking up to it. He's obviously not going to be match fit. He's not going to be match sharp. And he looked off it against Man City and made a couple mistakes. But these things are going to happen when you're called upon, you know, every couple months. It's not like he's been getting run-outs here and there. No, he hasn't. So I think a good run of games in the Premier League will do him wonders. I think he will come back and he will come back a better player, and we're going to see the quality that he actually has at Crystal Palace. I'm so sure of it, because, listen, I've been on social media and, you know, people message me all the time when it comes to, you know, Lokonga, you know, his performance against Man City and stuff like that. But that's a quality player right there, and you don't lose that quality overnight. And so a loan move, I think everyone agrees, is definitely good for him and definitely what's needed. And hopefully, you know, he comes back a better player and shows the Sambi Lokonga that we all know is there, and the potential that we saw when we got him. Yeah, hopefully. So that's me on Arsenal. Guys, let me know what you think on how I've summed up. If you think I'm absolutely mad and, you know, and my views are nonsense and whatever, then let me know. If you agree, also let me know, because I felt passionate about that today, because I was so confused. I was like, wait, when did Jorginho become this horrible player? When did we buy Jemba? Like, I don't know. When did he become Jemba? When did he become Winston Bogard and all them? Oh, listen, mate. I don't think it's another David Luiz situation. I don't think it's another Willian situation. I don't think it's another Peter Cech situation. But again, let's just see how. And you know what? I think as well, because of how those previous situations have turned out, that is what is messing this up. You know, that is what is making, you know, the Arsenal fans receive this transfer the way it has. But yeah, we're going to see. I think it's a good signing. And I'm not that Arsenal guy. Every signing, but let's just see. Okay. Right. What else is on the agenda? I've spoken about Arsenal. No more Arsenal, hopefully. Man United are getting Sabitzer from Bayern Munich. As it stands, is it done? I don't think it is. Yeah, no, it's not done. But I think once they saw that Christian Eriksen got injured, how he did, I think they were just like, yeah, we need cover. And to be honest, Sabitzer's he's a very, very good buy or loan. You know, if you're going to bring in a loan option, bring in someone who has enough about him where they will probably just fit right in. You know, he plays for Austria. He's been around for however long. He's experienced. He can buy. He's played in teams at the highest level. So Bayern Munich, and I really do believe he'll just, you know, fit into whatever Ten Hag is asking of him. Is he direct Eriksen replacement? I don't know, but with loan options, you're just asking people to come in and be able to just do a job. So I think United, in regards to replacing him, and I was listening on Sky that, you know, they got offered Isco, they got offered Yannick Carrasco, they got offered Aouar. But Ten Hag, you know, saw Sabitzer as the player that he wanted from early, and they've gone in and got him. So, you know, good bit of business there, and Eriksen eventually will come back, obviously. So we'll see how, you know, how that all comes into play and everything. So yeah, good buy. I've not really got much to say about it. Like it's a good loan signing coming in, and yeah, we're just gonna see. Big one that's happening. Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez this one is crazy to me because, one second, yeah. This one is crazy to me because we're talking about 115 mil British transfer record for this midfielder. And do you know what? A lot has been said about what Chelsea have been doing in the market and how they're able to get around financial fair play. But they're actually, what they're doing, it reminds me of when Roman Abramovich first came. When Roman Abramovich first came, can you not remember where he legit, and there was no financial fair play then, if I'm getting it right. He came in and he just blew money fast. He was just spending, like just rearranged the whole team. And Todd Bowley is doing the same thing at Chelsea. And for that reason, I'm literally Chelsea are going to be a problem. Maybe not this season, because players are going to need to settle in, you know, and whatnot. But Chelsea are going to be a problem. And I don't like what they're doing, if I'm being totally honest, because you're literally just changing an entire team, throwing money around, throwing money at it. And there's nothing fair about it. But you're also, you know, it's also very risky in regards to the contract. I wonder if they're going to give Enzo a long contract like that in regards to getting around financial fair play. I wonder if they're going to do that with him as well. Because I was listening to TalkSport earlier on, and they were saying in regards to the whole financial fair play stuff, it's done on like a 3-year window, and they're very close now to being at the edge of the amount of money that they can spend and whatnot. And this 105 mil is probably just going to tip it over the edge. But obviously, if they're going to spread out the payments or spread out the contract terms again, then that's how they're going to get around it. But it is, I just want to talk on that quickly. It is a very risky strategy because you're hoping that these players on these long contracts, if you're going to tie a player down to 8-year contract, 7-8-year contract, you're compensating them quite a bit. And you're asking that these players realise their potential, these young players realise their potential and go on to actually increase in value or become, you know, players, good players for Chelsea in, you know, over the course of those contracts. And if they don't, well, it's going to be hard to get rid of some of these players because of the money that they're on. They're not going to get that elsewhere. And also, like, in terms of transfer fees, who's going to pay transfer fees for some of these players? You know, a lot of these players are just going to be happy to sit down and just hold the bench Do you get what I'm saying? So, but anyway, Enzo Fernandez, very, very, very good player. Chelsea are they're going to get him. It's looking likely that they're going to get him. Obviously, at the time I'm recording this, they're still trying to hash it out. You know, apparently they want to buy the player with 6 installments. Benfica won it in 2. Is it Benfica? I think it is Benfica. Yeah, won it in 2. Won it over 2 years, 3 payments, and I think it is Benfica, right? Yeah, Benfica. So I slightly don't want them to get him. I'm not going to lie to you, because he's a very, very good player. Very, very, very good player. And then when you look at Chelsea, are just going to look so different next year. And like I said, I don't like what they're doing, and this is why it's an even bigger thing for Arsenal to win the league this year, because next year everyone's back, I believe. You're going to have Liverpool going to be back. You're going to have Chelsea definitely going to be back. Man United look like they're cooking up something. Man City are always just going to be Man City. So, you know, we're gonna see. So Chelsea are doing that, and obviously they have to offload players, and it's interesting because one of the players that was, you know, talked about leaving, as it stands, you know, he's not leaving. He was meant to go to Everton. Is Conor Gallagher. Everton bid 40 mil for him. He said no, he didn't want to go there, and the other options on the table for him are all loan options, and Chelsea don't want another loan for him. So I find it interesting that Conor Gallagher, and I've spoken on this podcast, well, when I was at Palace, just how much I liked him at Palace. Not so much at Chelsea, because I just don't feel like he fits their system. But it's interesting to see that Conor Gallagher is going for 40 mil. Like, honestly, the transfer prices right now are crazy, and it's all being driven right now by Chelsea. And, you know, that Man United, that Anthony, paying however much they paid for Anthony as well, has just distorted things. So when you're seeing someone with 26 appeal, I think Rio Ferdinand said it the other day, you know, to get new contracts and large fees, like transfer fees, you would have to show good performances over a number of years. Now, a good season and you're getting 70 mil price tags, you're getting crazy contracts, and yeah, it's crazy. I know I sound like an old head, I know I sound like I'm moaning, whatever, but I just don't like it. I just don't like it. So, you know, they're looking like they're gonna get Enzo Fernandez, and, you know, credit to them. Next thing I want to talk about, make sure you like, subscribe, share. Make sure you comment on what you think I've just said, or what you think about what I've just said. Cancelo. Oof. So, this is an interesting one, because Cancelo has been spoken up and in such a way where, you know, we've praised him as, you know, one of the better right backs in the world, and different quality, but it just hasn't seemed to work for him this season. Even at the World Cup, he had a very poor World Cup. You know, he's been displaced at right back. Rico Lewis, young boy coming through. You know, even left back doesn't really play, and it's interesting to see in January a player of Cancelo's stature, with his ability, being allowed to go out on loan to Bayern Munich. It's just so interesting, and it just goes to show how quickly things in football can change. I have no doubt that he will soon regain form, find form, and then we're going to see the old Cancelo. I don't think he's totally finished. I don't think, you know, I just think whatever's been going on has distracted him and affected his performances. But I know we're going to still see Cancelo, and, you know, apparently he's getting into arguments with Pep and stuff on the training, which Pep has said, no, I'm not having that, and got rid of him, which I'm here for. I'm actually here for. There's other managers who would stand for that. But regardless of who you are, no player is bigger than the club, regardless of your ability and whatnot. And for Pep to just be like, nah, you're out. You know what, let me go and work with the players that I've got over here. you know, you're out. I respect it. But also, it's interesting because it, in a way, it weakens the squad, obviously. Someone of Cancelo going. And I think I said on the last podcast with Lamin and Scotty that I can't see this City team doing 20, 30 games, going 20 games unbeaten and putting on that mad run. I hope not, especially, you know, supporting Arsenal. But, you know, with Cancelo leaving, I'm looking at this squad, there's talks of Bernardo Silva possibly going, even though it looks like he's going to stay. You know, there's rumblings that things aren't all quite rosy in the camp. You know, I can't see City doing that mad run like they did in I think it was a 2018-2019 season when they just won every game and beat Liverpool to the title. I can't see that happening. And, you know, it's just going to be interesting to see how things play out, to see how Pep manages the team, to see how Pep manages the squad. We know that he's got his eye on the Champions League. So I think letting Cancelo go, it might come back to actually haunt them, as well as Rico Lewis has done. He is very young, and you know, Cancelo can also play left back. Hence why they've been playing Ake there. I'm sure if Pep had his way, Ake wouldn't play left back. But with Cancelo playing how he's playing, with Gomez not quite settling in as yet, Ake's had to play there. So yeah, that's going to be interesting as well. Also, whilst we're talking about fullbacks, so I put a tweet out the other day, yeah, and the tweet said, and it caused quite a bit of, I didn't expect something so, I didn't expect the reaction to be the way it was. So basically, I was watching Brighton versus Liverpool. I think it was FA Cup. Yeah, in the FA Cup. And Trent was given a bad day. Trent had a bad day with dealing with Mitoma. Mitoma was just, you know, on fire and scored that ridiculous. You see that goal that he scored? That Mitoma goal was ridiculous. So, Mitoma is a really top player. You know, there's certain players where you can see it's form and whatnot, but then certain players you just know they got it. Mitoma is that guy. He has just got it. And all throughout the match, he was just getting that Trent. And I tweeted very early on in that match that Mitoma has Trent's number and Trent knows it. And you can see in the way he defends. So Trent ended up getting dragged, substituted for Milner. And I remember tweets. I tweeted this. So I tweeted, I blame all you people that label Trent as the best right back in the world for his current defensive struggles. Defenders should always be able to defend first. Everything else should come after that. Right. So when I said that tweet about Trent, it wasn't me getting at him. Like, I just think that we put so much, not even me, because if you've been listening to my podcast and go through my tweets, you've seen that I've always had the same stance when it comes to Trent. Trent is not a good defender, but what he gives in the attacking sense is outrageous. But for you to be labelled as the best in the world and not even be able to, you know, defend, it's crazy. So when people were praising him as the best in the world, it's almost as if he didn't have to go and work on that. So now that his back is up against it, his back is against the wall, he's having to learn on the job, and he's having to learn under circumstances where every eye is on him. Oh, Trent can't defend. So even if he is having a bad day against Mitoma, which a lot of defenders have against Mitoma, it's magnified 100 times because it's Trent. So when I said that, I wasn't saying it because to say that he's rubbish or whatever. Trent is outrageous. But there's going to come a point where, as a fullback, you need to be able to be relied upon when it comes to defending, which is why Gareth Southgate has never fancied him. It's why Gareth Southgate, you know, what was it? The European Championships where it was a toss of a coin if he's gonna make it or not. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he's never been this guy that can really, really defend. Even when Liverpool were on top, if you really watched it, he weren't great when it comes to defence. But he can go and bang in a goal top bins, or he can put in a mad pass. And we allowed that. And that's why Reece James for me was always better. Because yes, attacking wise, he ain't doing what Trent's doing, but he's still very, very good attacking wise. But do you know what? When it comes to defending, he can do a job. If you take Reece James out and put him in England, he's doing the exact same job. If you take Trent out of Liverpool and put him in England, you're not getting the same Trent, because the system and the way that they play is very, very different. So you're asking for Trent to be the best version of himself. You're asking for the team to play in a way that just caters to him, which in this day and age is very hard to do, because we know how much emphasis is put on the team structure. We know how much emphasis is put on, systems and whatnot. So you're asking Trent to do all of these things and he ain't got it in him. So, I do believe he will improve. I do believe he'll come through this, because he is a top player. But all of that, he's the best in the world, it just didn't help him. We gave him too much praise, or not even praise. I don't want to say praise, but we put too much on him too soon. And for the record, I'm not even that guy that was saying Trent was the best in the world. Never, ever. I said he's outrageous talent. But there's more, there's two sides. And some of the tweets I was getting back, okay, so someone said, which is why Ashley Cole is the greatest fullback to ever do it. 100%. 100%. I don't ever, because, but in my life, okay, let me say, because Maldini was still there. So, but I hear what you're saying. Ashley Cole, 100%, was one of the best fullbacks of the last 30 years, 100%, if not the best. There's an argument. So then people say, we're still blaming all of Liverpool's struggles on Trent. No one's blaming all of Liverpool's struggles on Trent, but Trent's defensive issues are a clear problem, especially when the team isn't doing well. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, okay, great example. The team ain't doing well, but Robertson ain't having a great season. He ain't having his best season, but he's not seen as a liability. The team ain't doing well, but Robertson is still doing okay. Do you get what I'm saying? We're not looking at him like, he's a liability, or he can't defend. No, he's still able to do his job, which is why Robertson's been one of the best left backs, or one of the best fullbacks in, of the last 5 years. Because what he's been given attacking wise, he equally has been given defensively. So, yeah, there's that. Let me just go through a couple more responses. The game's evolved. It's not 2000s. When attacking fullbacks are dictating games or creating most of the chances, defender has to come second. I'm not going to lie. That's what someone said to me. And I said in response to that, I can't lie, this is wild for me. Defender for me always has to come first. I'm not even saying he has to be the best, but when it's time to do the primary job of defending, you want them to be competent. Hence why he doesn't start for England, which is what I was just saying here. Like, defenders should always come first as a defender. I get the era that we're in or whatever, but when it comes down to it, you're not always going to, dominate games for your entire career. You're not always going to be in places where, you never have to defend. Even when you look at the Marcelos, people say Marcelo couldn't defend, but when he was called upon, he was competent. Do you know what I mean? Like Ashley Cole, one of the best attacking fullbacks. He was one of the best attacking fullbacks. He was still doing his job as a defender. Like, I don't know. I just see football very differently in it. And if I'm being outrageous, if I'm being too harsh, then let me know. I don't feel like I am. I definitely don't feel like I am. But you guys, again, just like I said, just let me know. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that. Honourable shout outs to some of the transfers that have gone through. Matt Doherty to Atletico. Didn't see that one coming. He's probably biting at that. He's probably chomping, thinking, yeah, what a move. Like, he's buzzing. I know he must be buzzing. From Tottenham, who are underperforming, who he's not a starter, he's not first choice all the time, and in and out of the team, to then go to Atletico, who are, Champions League pedigree team. And I know Tottenham have been in the Champions League, but they're not Champions League pedigree. They're not Champions League regulars, like performing at a high level like Atletico, to play under, Simeone. And I know it's not the same Atletico as years gone by, but he's probably looking at that thinking, what a move. So, fair play to him. John Joe Shelby to Nottingham Forest. That's a good move for him. That's a good move for Nottingham Forest. I think he brings in the quality needed to upgrade them. I think him playing in the team with Morgan Gibbs-White, who is an absolute player, by the way. John Joe Shelby. You got oh my gosh, what's his name? Koyate in there. Yeah, it's a very, 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 very good buy for them, and it's a good move for him. For whatever reason, he's not seeing game time at Newcastle, not even part of the squad at time. I know he's been injured, but I'm assuming he's back from there. Hence why he's signed for Nottingham Forest. But honourable shout out. I think it's going to be a good move for him. And also an interesting one actually is Keylor Navas potentially going to Nottingham Forest as well. It's 7:31 right now. They've not confirmed it, but I know they still want that. And I know Dean Henderson is injured, but I'm seeing he's only injured for 3 or 4 weeks. So my thing is, if he is this, I think that if they get Keylor Navas and Dean Henderson comes back in 3 or 4 weeks, something in me still says Keylor Navas will still, stay in goal. I don't see this Dean Henderson that everyone else sees, who they wanted to displace, David De Gea and be Man United's number one. I don't see that from this Dean Henderson. And if I'm wrong, then I don't know. But I think if he's only out for 3-4 weeks, you play your backup keeper for 3-4 weeks. But them going after Keylor Navas on loan, I think it's them saying he's an upgrade, he's better, and Dean Henderson needs to sit down. But I might be wrong about that again. But I don't think I am. What else is there? Listen, VAR, is... I know we've spoken about VAR before, but I just want to talk about Fabinho's challenge the other day on Ferguson against Brighton. Listen, I felt bad for him because it wasn't purposely done, but even so, it was naughty. It was bad, and he knew straight away, and he knew he bust case. He knew he got away with it because you could see straight away. He was like, and as he was walking back, he was shaking his head because he thought VAR was going to overturn it and give him a red, and he should. And VAR, the referee association, whoever they are, they've come out today and said, oh, yeah, he should have got a red card for that, and it was a mistake. But this is like the second, third, or whatever time this season that these things have come out. Like, we need to sort it out. Do you get what I'm saying? Because some of these challenges aren't great. The one on Ericsson the other day wasn't great. And we just need VAR to, stamp it out and fix up. And I just wanted to complain about that very quickly. And another honourable shout out to, is it Rem? How do you pronounce him? Is it Rem? In France, who are currently flying with Balogun, with Fola Balogun up front. And their manager, Will Steele, I think his name is, he's 30 years old and he's doing wonders with them. But the interesting thing is, number one, that he learned how to manage playing Football Manager in his own words, which I'm here for and I'm loving it, because I sometimes, when I was playing Football Manager, I need to get back on it. When I was playing Football Manager, I used to think, I can do this as well. Do you know what I mean? That's number one. Number two, what I'm loving is the fact that he hasn't achieved his coaching badges. And for that reason, every time Rem play a match with him under control, they're fined £22,000 because he doesn't have his coaching badges. And what I love is that they're backing him properly. They're backing him knowing that they're going to have to pay money like that. They're still forking out the money to pay because he's doing a great job. And there was a tweet in regards to that I saw on Twitter, and it said, as soon as I get Twitter open, it said how, oh sugar, I probably missed it. Oh well, Ayoze Perez has gone back to oh there it is. Ayoze Perez has gone back to Spain. Surprised at that Leicester let him go. So it said, so the tweet come from one of these football accounts saying Rems, I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry, are fined $22,000 per game every time they play under their manager. Rems are fined £22,000 per game every time they play under their manager, Will Steele, due to him not having his pro license yet. They are currently unbeaten in 12 league games under him and drew 1-1 away at PSG last night. Superb. Right. So, James Shaw, big you up, my guy, goalkeeper for Tottenham Mission. They're only firing him because he's making a mockery of the money-making coaching badge system that every FA uses to rinse aspiring coaches. More people that believe they can do it their own way, the more people that will not pay the ludicrous FA fees. And I'm here for that. I think that is spot on. You know, anytime that these FAs and these governing bodies feel like, you know, they can make money, you know, from these people, they're going to do it. So, you know, that was spot on. And I just wanted to just mention that. But I think that is actually it for me. That is actually it for today. I recorded, I wasn't going to, but I was a bit annoyed at the front end of this podcast because of all the Jorginho stuff and whatnot. But yeah, man. Guys, that's it from me. Keep liking, subscribing, sharing. Check out the documentary, Son of the Soil. Get in the comments. Just comment. I can't highlight that enough. Comment. And also, El Neni's out. I don't know if I mentioned that, but El Neni's injured for an extended period. So now that he's gone and Jorginho's in, let me not even get back to that because I'll just get annoyed. But yeah, guys, I am out.